Vanchakalpatarubhischa kripa sindhubhya vachapatitanam pavanibhya vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, it will be just short introduction before Tulsi Prabhu continues, and we will speak a little bit about the Holy Dham. So, everybody has been in the Holy Dham? All of you? some haven't been. Srila Prabhupada wanted the devotees to go to Mayapur and to Vrindavan at least once a year. And there is a deep reason behind this desire of Srila Prabhupada. And, there are 9 symptoms of bhava, reliable symptoms of bhava, described by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And one of them is that the devotee who is on this level of bhava, he never wastes his time or her time. The devotee is always engaged in Krishna consciousness. Another symptom is that he is very attached to chanting the holy name. Another symptom is that he is very attached to live in the places where the Lord has performed his pastimes, and this is the Holy Dham. So just like Krishna, his favorite place is Vrindavan, yes, and inside Vrindavan there are also different places, and his most favorite place is Radhakund, because this is the place of his beloved Radharani. Srimati Radhika is the dearest devotee of Krishna, and in the same way, the place where the Lord performed his pastimes is supposed to be very dear to us, right? If you love somebody, the place where he or she resides, this is your favorite place. You don't have any more preferences on your own. Your needs, interests, and concerns are forgotten. You don't care anymore about your tastes. Oh, I prefer. I like to live in the forest where it's very peaceful. I like actually cities. They are very active and people are so many. You can meet so many people. No, you don't care anymore about your own desires. You just, if you really love somebody, you will go and live with him or with her in the place where he prefers to live. That's the nature of love. So, in the same way, we are supposed to develop our attraction to the Holy Dham, and this is not so difficult, fortunately. Because the holy place, the Holy Dham, is naturally attractive for the devotees, for everybody. There are statements in Shastra which explain that the devotional service we perform in the Holy Dham is thousands times more powerful than the devotional service performed, let's say, in Berlin. Especially for Mayapur, it is said that even when you sleep in Mayapur, you just go to bed and sleep. This is also considered devotional service. It is equal to offering dandavats to the deities of the Lord in the temple. There are these amazing statements in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's book Navadvip Dham Mahatmya, where Nityananda Prabhu takes Jiva Goswami to Parikram in Navadvip, in Mayapur, and he's showing him all the holy places, and he explains the significance, the esoteric meaning of all these places. And there are statements like, if you just breathe the air of the Holy Dham, this is so auspicious. Just 1 second spent in Mayapur or in Vrindavan, because they are not different, brings eternal benefit, etc., etc. For example, here in the west, outside of the Dham, right now we are in a holy place. We are
in the Dham.
We in the Dham. Now we in Jagannath Puri. There's no difference, and we also in Mayapur because Gornitai are there. But when we step out of this door over there, then we're in the material world again. And when we are in Mayapur or in Vrindavan, we are in the temple, we're in the spiritual world. When we go out of the temple, it's still the spiritual world. And in these holy places, it is very easy to remember the Lord, and everything reminds us about the Lord. And we should take this opportunity. Still, the holy dhammas are available. We can still go. The airplanes are still running. We don't have to walk to Mayapur or Vrindavan as it used to be before. If somebody wanted to go, when the devotees of Mahaprabhu, they wanted to go to see him in Jagannath Puri, guess what they were doing? They were not booking their tickets online. They were just walking for a couple of weeks. So we're still fortunate to have this easy way to go to the Dham, and we should take advantage as long as we can. So especially, I guess, Tulsi Prabhu will speak more about Mayapur because we spent like the last 15 years in Mayapur almost like every winter. So our although there is no difference between Vrindavan and Mayapur and Jagannath Puri, it's the same. But I guess he'll speak more about Mayapur. And a last thing I wanted to say is that when we go to the Dham, there are many benefits. One of the benefits is that we can actually absorb the culture of the Dham. We are living in the West, most of us, and we have our own culture. And Prabhupada was not very impressed by the Western culture, to say it more gently. And the culture is something very important because the culture is the philosophy. When it put in practice, it becomes the culture. How do we apply this wonderful Krishna conscious philosophy in our lives? We can see this and learn this from the residents of the Holy Dham, how they do it. Otherwise, there is a statement that if you don't accept the proper culture, then you will manufacture your own. You'll speculate what is the culture, and then you'll have your own speculation, which will be inevitably in rajas or tamas, or a mixture of those. And the culture of the Holy Dham is transcendental, and it is still there. You can still see it, you can still feel it, you can learn, and especially when we were in Bangladesh, because Mayapur became, it's still a Holy Dham, of course, but Mayapur became very much inhabited by Western devotees, and Western devotees, they bring their
certain
their mood in the Dham. The Dham is transcendental, of course, it cannot be changed, but Mayapur is not the same as when we went there. I went there first time, 2005. It was different back then. But when you go to places like Bangladesh, then you can still see the pure, unalloyed Bengali Gaudiya Vaishnava culture. The mood of the devotees, the environment, the way they perform devotional service, the way they live their life, is still, I think it's still almost like it used to be back in the day when Mahaprabhu was there. I don't think many things changed in Bangladesh. So these places are still there, and it is our privilege and we have to take advantage of this possibility, opportunity to take the Holy Dham in our hearts, and when we go out to preach, to bring the Holy Dham to everybody else. And this can happen only when we actually go there, pray to the Lord to reveal the Holy Dham, at least to some extent, to us, and pray to take this wonderful place, to understand it, to take it in our hearts, and to be able to share it with others for their benefit and for ours also. So that was my short introduction. Now Tulsi will continue.
To continue from where Pandava Prabhu kind of concluded, yes, Srila Prabhupada very often, especially in the beginning when he was bringing his disciples to India, he was encouraging them to spend some time in the houses of the people there, not in the temple but in the houses, because his idea was you can actually see how they are doing everything, what is the culture. And because in India you have one culture basically that is given from generation to generation, but behind this culture people, they have many different philosophies. Like if you go in the house, you see they have a certain standard for going to toilets, certain standard for washing the dishes, certain standard for cooking, certain standard for altar place. In each house there is an altar place, and it's kind of similar. It can be a little bit more opulent or not so opulent, but the standard is more or less the same. But their philosophy behind what they are doing is different. Like some people, they worship Durga, some people they worship Shiva, some people they worship their Vaishnavas and worship Krishna, so their philosophy is different, but culture-wise, more or less the things are the same. So Srila Prabhupada was encouraging devotees to try to accept as much as possible those sattvic standards in their lifestyle. And again on the topic for the Holy Dham, one time there was a conversation between Srila Prabhupada and some of his leading leaders and managers at that time. I'm not sure if it was Tamal Krishna Maharaj or someone else, but there was conversation, and Srila Prabhupada suggested, I want all the disciples from the West to go every year for Gaur Purnima festival in Mayapur. And this leader politely protested. I said, but Srila Prabhupada, these are a lot of money. I mean, to send all these devotees, let's say, at that time there was already in the West maybe, I don't know, 500, 1,000 devotees. So he was saying, these are a lot of money. Like, if we save this money, we can develop so many projects in the West. And then Srila Prabhupada looked at him and said, okay, then from tomorrow, stop feeding the devotees. And this leader, he was, but how, Prabhupada? I mean, they have to eat. No, you just stop feeding the devotees. Do you know how much money we are going to save? We can develop all our projects and so on and so on. Isn't it? Yes? And this leader, he starts getting where Srila Prabhupada is going. Srila Prabhupada said, it is like a food. Going to the Holy Dham is like a food. Devotees need this thing. It will give them such a spiritual nourishment that they will have enthusiasm for one more year to continue strongly with their devotional service. So we have all these places in the West by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, and they are like a spiritual, how you say in English, oasis? Oasis. So they are like these spiritual oases, but if we go to the ocean, then we can get so much nourishment and come back and have power and strength. So if sometimes you have the dilemma in your mind, let's say you have money, for what shall I spend this money? For going to the Holy Dham or for something else? Just go to the Holy Dham. Or if you have time and you are wondering, for what shall I use this time, for going to the Holy Dham or someone else? Go to the Holy Dham. Or if you are thinking just where to go for my holiday, to the Holy Dham or somewhere else, go to the Holy Dham. Always, if you have opportunity, just go to the Holy Dham. And then you see, after some time, the Holy Dham will change you. Just by staying there, just by being there, there is so much mercy on this place. You see, you are changed. You are not the same person. If you spend 2-3 months in the Holy Dham, when you come back, you see, wow, I'm a completely different person. I think in a different way. I act in a different way. It's like a miracle, but it works. This association with the Holy Dham works. One time, there is another nice story. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada, he was at that time in Jagannath Puri and he was following Chaturmasya. He was following Chaturmasya, and some devotees came from Mayapur to Jagannath Puri and brought shak for Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. You know what is shak, yeah? Like a leaf vegetables, like a spinach, all these kind of leaf vegetables, green leaf vegetables, they are called shak. So they brought nice shak from Mayapur for Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj and gave to the disciples, to the cooks of Maharaj, and they said to Maharaj, so Maharaj, these devotees, they brought all this shak, spinach from Mayapur, but because now is the first month of Chaturmasya, and normally during this month one is fasting from shak, from those kind of leaf vegetables, so they said, we cannot cook it, we'll just make something for the deities or something like that. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj asked, from where is this shak? They said, yeah, from Mayapur. Some devotees, they brought it from Mayapur. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said, immediately cook it and bring it to me. And they said, but Maharaj, you are like following Chaturmasya, you are fasting now. He said, no, you cannot make comparison between these two. To following Chaturmasya and taking some prasadam, some mercy that is coming from the Holy Dham, it's completely different level. Just ignore these minor rules and regulations, Chaturmasya, immediately cook this shak and bring it to me. This is shak that is coming directly from the Holy Dham. Immediately I have to honor it. So those great personalities, they are giving so much importance, so much attention to the Holy Dham. And one thing that we have to know when we are going in the Holy Dham, I guess maybe most of you already heard this, is we cannot just like that enter in the Holy Dham. In order to get in the Holy Dham, you need permission. And this is at least, I guess, more than 2 personalities, but at least from 2 personalities you should get a blessing, otherwise you cannot enter the Holy Dham. First one is Shiva, Shambhu, because he is known as the Gopeshvara, or the protector of the Holy Dham. He is always residing on the border of the Holy Dham and protecting the Holy Dham. Undesirable elements cannot enter the Holy Dham, or in other words, personalities who are going to disturb somehow the things that are going on in the Holy Dham, or disturbs the people who are living in the Holy Dham, Vrajabasis, Mayapur Basis, those elements, they are not allowed to enter the Holy Dham. So normally when we are entering the Holy Dham, always there is a place where we can go and take the blessings of Shiva, Mahadev, so that we can actually really enter into the Holy Dham. And the other person is Pratamaya, or Yogamaya, spiritual energy of Krishna. We could say Subhadra Devi, or we could say Grandmother Purnamasi in Vrindavan. These are all personifications of the spiritual energy, internal energy of the Lord. And if they don't allow us, again, we cannot enter into the Holy Dham. So this is the beginning of entering into the Holy Dham. Another important thing that we should know for the Holy Dham is that the essence of the Holy Dham are the saintly personalities. We can go to the Holy Dham to see certain places. We can also go to the Holy Dham in order to hear certain pastimes of the Lord. And all this is very, very beneficial. All this is very important. But the most important of all these things is to get this knowledge, to get this information from the proper source, which is saintly people, pure devotees who are residing in these places. In Srimad Bhagavatam there is a verse which is describing that Swayam Vibhu Bhagavatam Stirta Bhuta Swayam Vibhu. Maharaj Yudhishthira is speaking to Vidura. We know, everybody knows Vidura. Vidura is the brother of Dhritarashtra and Pandu. So when Pandu died, the father of the Pandavas, Arjuna, Bhima, Yudhishthira and Nakul Sahadeva, then Dhritarashtra, who was blind, he became the king. And then Vidura, which was his half brother, stayed with him to help him to rule the kingdom. He was known as a very special personality. He was actually a pure devotee of the Lord. So at some point, because there was a quarrel with the son of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, Vidura left. And for many, many years he was traveling in a different holy places. Actually, it is said that he took sannyas. But then at some point he came back to Hastinapura to preach his brother Dhritarashtra that he has to leave the kingdom and go in the forest and surrender completely to the Lord. So when he came back, when Yudhishthira Maharaj was speaking with him, he spoke this verse in which he is saying, holy people like you, they are holy places personified. You are a moving holy place. Why? Because the Lord is always residing in your heart. One place becomes a holy place because the Lord resides there. So the Lord is there and He is performing certain pastimes on this place, and that's why the place becomes holy place. Like, let's say, this temple. Because the Lord is here and because He is performing His pastimes of spreading what we are spreading. The mission of? Which mission? Yeah, the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Harinam Sankirtan, chanting the holy names of the Lord. That's why this place becomes a Dham. It's a holy place. And those personalities, because they were in contact with Krishna for such a long time, they were thinking about Krishna for such a long time, that Krishna starts residing in their heart. And they become a moving holy places. So actually we go to the Holy Dham to get this association, to associate with these people, because the inspiration that they have, the love that they have for Krishna, it will be transferred into our heart. And suddenly, immediately we will start feeling so much enthusiasm about spiritual life, so much enthusiasm to get up early, to chant more rounds, to read the books, to go to different places to hear something about the Lord. This enthusiasm will appear suddenly in our heart. So this is another important point. We should go to the holy places to get the association of those personalities. This is the essence going to the Holy Dham. Like, let's say here, year maybe, how many? 10, 20, 30 holy people are coming, yes? Different swamis, gurus are appearing through this place. Let's say for Ratha Yatra, for this, for that. Different sadhus, different holy people are coming, and we are getting benefit from their association. But if we go in the holy Dham, at once there is hundreds and thousands of those people present there in one place. So can you imagine what kind of potency is present there on this place? And just by staying in this place, you are absorbing all this mercy. In the same book that Pandava Prabhu mentioned, Navadvip Dham Mahatmya, a very famous book of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Nityananda Prabhu, he is bringing Jiva Goswami, another, we could say, one of the close associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is bringing them all over these places, like Srivasacharya, Srivas Thakur, and others. And he's telling them, okay, on this place happened this and this pastime with the Lord, on this place happened this and this pastime with the Lord. So, at some point, towards the end of the parikrama, Jiva Goswami is asking Nityananda Prabhu, he's saying, I have a doubt in my mind. Like, you describe the Holy Dham in like this amazing way that it is said that in the Holy Dham, every step is a dance and every word is a song. And you are saying all the trees in this place are the wish-fulfilling trees, and the water is Amrita, nectar. And you are saying all the houses in this place, they are made from precious gems, and earth on which we are walking is made from Chintamani, from philosophical stones, again jewels. So I completely believe all this. But why it is that actually we are apparently seeing that in the Holy Dham are happening not only these things, we see so many things, other things. Like we see apparently sinful people living there and they are doing not proper things. How can we understand all this? How it is possible? Like this is what we are perceiving with our vision. Isn't it like that? Who of you was sometimes in Vrindavan or Mayapur? So, when you first entered in the Holy Dham, what was your first impression? Where have you been, Mayapur or Vrindavan?
No, Vrindavan 7 or 8 times in Vrindavan.
Okay.
Never in Mayapur, but I hope some. To be honest, I felt it's first time and coming home and safe.
Okay.
It was amazing.
Great, you are very advanced.
No. I really wasn't, absolutely not. But my Gurudev, encouraged me, and it was his blessing. So.
Yes. Like for me, if I have to be honest, I needed little time to start working on it to see the Dham as it is described from the holy people, from the sadhus. Because in the first moment when I entered the Dham with my material consciousness and my material eyes, immediately I saw so many imperfections. Like why it's so noisy, why there is no proper order. Like in Germany you have place where you walk, you have place where you drive your bike, there is a place for the tram, there is a place for the car, everything is organized. And you enter the Holy Dham and like it's, you have to walk on the street and there is the cars and the rickshaws are there and the cows are there and the pigs are also there, everybody is there on the same place. Monkeys are stealing your glasses, yes, everything is there. So there is little bit like a shock, where I am actually, is this the Holy Dham? But then after some time, by good amounts of hearing what is actually the Holy Dham, of hearing the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, then your consciousness starts getting transformed, and then actually you start seeing the Holy Dham. Wait a minute, these things are not so important. Actually, it's like a covering. This is what Nityananda Prabhu is answering to the question of Jiva Goswami. He's saying, on the surface of the real Holy Dham, there is like a very thin filth, like a film. Can you use this word? You know what is film?
Yeah.
Слой. Знаешь, как по-немецки?
Covering.
Yeah, like a very thin covering, which actually does not allow to the unqualified people to see the Holy Dham. And all these things are happening on the top of this covering. So all these things that we see, let's say some people are doing improper activities or sinful activities apparently in the Holy Dham, or some injustices are going on, or some things that look strange, we cannot perceive them. All these things actually, this is the covering of the Holy Dham. So, but when we go to a certain amount of hearing and chanting, then our consciousness transforms, and then we start appreciating the real Holy Dham. Wow, how much opportunity I have to listen about Krishna, how much opportunity I have for kirtan, how much opportunity I have for honoring prasadam, how much opportunity I have for associating with advanced devotees. We start appreciating this side of the Holy Dham, because in this side of the Holy Dham there is no comparison with any other place. There is no comparison. It is the best place in the whole universe. So, yeah, when we are going in the Holy Dham, we should be prepared and try not to see the Holy Dham with our material vision, but rather try to purify our consciousness and start appreciating all the opportunities for spiritual advancement that we have. And then if we are praying sincerely, then Krishna may start revealing us different things in the Holy Dham. Like me and Pandava, as he said, we are spending quite some time in Mayapur, but always we were busy in mainly studying there, doing some services for some spiritual masters and studying, and this helps you a lot to see the Holy Dham in a different way. But because of this engagement, we never really had a lot of time to go around, as they say. I spent a lot of time on the different holy places, know all the different holy places. Yes, we went, but it's not like every day we are going to some place and so on and so on. So recently, every year, like there are a few parikramas in Mayapur, especially, and very often they invite two great personalities from Mayapur there. Their names are Jani Vasprabhu and Pankajangri Prabhu. You know them? Do you know them? Someone else knows them? So they are disciples of Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada basically started the project in Mayapur, he bought the land, he went there to live, and more or less in the beginning, like already 71, 72, they went there, and Srila Prabhupada make them, especially Jani Vasprabhu, in charge for the deity worship. And since then, since 71, 72, he is living in Mayapur. He's never going anywhere unless it's for some special preaching purpose. Like now they are making these TOVP tours, going to different countries to collect money for the big temple that is built there. But apart from this, he never goes anywhere. And very often he comes to the parikramas and tells different pastimes, different stories in different areas. So we just started going on a one like muddy road, and then we were walking, and then he started explaining like, okay, actually this was where the Ganga was floating before, and here on these places there was different ghats, different places for bathing, and actually that was Madai Ghat, the place where Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, they went to preach to Jagan Madai. You know Jagan Madai? You know? Yes? Jagan Madai, they were two Brahmanas who became very, very fallen during the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it is said they did so many sinful activities that even the secretary of Yamaraj, Chitragupta, he couldn't write anymore their offenses and sinful activities. So many that he didn't have space to write anymore what kind of sinful activities they did. So Nityananda and Haridas Thakur, they decided, if we preach to these two, if they become devotees, this will put so much glory for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so let's do it. But because they were very violent and one of them beat it with a clay pot Nityananda Prabhu on the head, and there was blood. And anyway, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he asked for forgiveness, and then Nityananda Prabhu gave them their mercy. But still, because of his offense to Nityananda Prabhu, he was feeling very much, how can we say, he was feeling that still his offense is not completely forgiven. So he asked for Nityananda Prabhu some special service that he can do to free himself from the reactions. And then he told him, you have to build here now one ghat, bathing place, and when people come to take bath, you have to serve them. And after serving them, at the end, you should ask their blessings and forgiveness. And in this way, you'll be completely freed from all your sinful activities, all your reactions. So, yeah, he was saying, here is Madai Ghat, and here is the Ghat that personally Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was coming every day, and he was taking his noon bath here, and he liked very much to joke with the Brahmanas on this place, like the Brahmanas who are coming there to perform their noon rituals, duties, and then Mahaprabhu was making fun with them. Like sometimes he was, when they were to the chest in the water chanting their Gayatri, he was just going under the water and catching them for their legs and pulling them, and they were like, whoa, falling in the water. Sometimes he was waiting for them to come out from Ganga, pure, ready to do their rituals, and he was waiting with water from his mouth. Mouth is generally considered not a pure place, so he was just waiting like that. And when they were coming out from Ganga, he was just making, and then the water was going all over their body, and they were so angry that he's doing this. And then they were going to complain to the father of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Jagannath Mishra, he was saying, okay, today when Nimai comes, I will chastise him very much. And then the small Nimai was coming back home, and his father was just about to start like chastising him, and he was saying, he doesn't look like he was on the river. And he was saying, have you been today to the river? And the small Nimai was saying, no, father. Saying, but are you sure? Because they came, they complained from you that you were doing all these mischievous things. He was saying, no, my father, see, like my hair is still dusty and my clothes, and you see my hands, they are still marked with ink from the writing in the Gurukul. No, I didn't go to Ganga. And then Jagannath Mishra, he didn't know what to do, what to say. And then Nimai was very happy that he did all these mischievous things and nobody saying anything to him. So he was showing all these places to us, or the place where he was going for Gurukul, and I was thinking, wow, suddenly the Dham starts becoming alive for you. It's very nice, it's very beautiful when you look around all these nice fields and Ganga is there. It's already very beautiful. But what you see is just a field or a river. But when the holy people, they start speaking, and suddenly you start perceiving the same place in a completely different way. you start seeing, wow, actually the Supreme Lord 500 years ago he was here and he was personally performing his pastimes. Basically the Dham becomes revealed in front of your eyes. So yeah, if you have the opportunity, please go to the Holy Dham as much as possible. 10 times, 20 times, 50 times. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving advice, or Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, I'm not sure, one of the two, that if we cannot reside physically in the Holy Dham, at least we should every day recite mentally in the Holy Dham. So we can just during the day just think about Mayapur, about Vrindavan, about Jagannath Puri. That's why we are saying, when we make kirtan and after that we are saying these prayers, Premadvani, that we pay obeisances, and we are saying Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Why? To remind for these places, because just thinking about this place is already so purifying for us. And then maybe let's say something about Jagannath, because we are in Jagannath Dham. We are in Jagannath Puri. Lord Jagannath is considered a very, very merciful appearance of Krishna. There are different stories describing appearance of Lord Jagannath. Do you know how Lord Jagannath appeared actually? Do you know the story? No. More or less. Okay. There are different stories described in different places. You can read in the beginning of Chaitanya Mangala. There is a nice story about the mercy of Lord Jagannatha. There are a few nice books written by Bhakti Purushottam Swami, one sannyasi. He had main managers in Mayapur. He wrote a few very nice books about Jagannath Puri and about Jagannath. He's describing very nicely the story. But shortly we can say that one reason why Jagannath appears in Kali Yuga, this form, actually the form of Lord Jagannath is eternal form of the Lord. But sometimes it becomes manifested, sometimes it is not manifested. So the reason why one of the reasons why Lord Jagannath appeared and we have the opportunity to worship him now is one great king that was living in Jagannath Puri many years ago. His name was Indradyumna Maharaj, and I'll try to make the long story short. But he wanted to worship the Lord, being a great devotee of the Lord, and he had a dream, and in the dream Jagannath appeared and told him, I want you to worship me in my form as Nila Madhava. So find this deity known as Nila Madhava and start worshipping it. Install it and start worshipping it. So he immediately sent all his brahmanas, messengers everywhere, all over the state to find this deity, but nobody was successful. And then at the end, one brahmana, he went to some very distant village, somewhere in the jungle basically, and he entered the village. He was very hungry, thirsty, so a young girl received him. She was alone in the house, so it's a sadhu, brahmana, I have to take care for him. So she immediately served him, washed his feet, served him prasadam, gave him water, and then, because she was a young and beautiful, so as normally happens in the stories, in the movies, he became attracted to her. So he understood she is not married. And then when her father came in the evening, he asked, can I got married for her? So he agreed, and then this Brahmana, he just basically forgot about his mission and started living there. And then after some time, he saw that the father is going every day very early somewhere, and he's coming around noon, and he didn't know where is he going. And then after some time he asked his wife, so where is your father going every day? Like, he goes very early. Always when we get up, we're getting up early, but he is not there anymore, and he comes already around noon, something like that. So she did not wanted to tell him, but he was kind of a little bit pushy, and he was like, come on, I'm your husband, you cannot have secrets from me. And then at the end she said, okay, my father has a special deity. It's hidden in the forest, in the mountain, and he is worshipping him every day. He goes there and worshipping him. It's called Nila Madhava. And when the Brahmana heard him, he said, oh, that's the deity that king wants to have. So he was thinking what to do, how to find this deity. She was saying, nobody knows where is it, only my father. He doesn't want to say to anybody. So he came up with a special plan. He made in the pocket of the cloth of the father a very small hole, and he put inside mustard seeds. And when the father was walking, the seeds were slowly falling from his pocket. And then after a month or so, they start growing, and they basically became like a line from those flowers, mustard seeds flowers. They become like yellow on the top when they grow. So he followed the line, and he managed to see this beautiful deity of Nilamadhava. Actually, it was the deity of Krishna. And he immediately left for the palace. He went there. He said to the king, king, I found the deity. It's here. So the king immediately, very happy, gathered the whole army. Okay, we are going to get the deity. It's like a big procession. The Lord is coming to my kingdom. I have to receive him properly. Musicians, everything. So they went there, and when they reached the place, the deity was not anymore there. And the king was so frustrated, like so depressed. For so long I was waiting for you to appear, and now you disappeared, and you don't want to come to my kingdom to be worshipped. And then a voice spoke and told the king, don't worry, very soon I will come. I will come to your kingdom, and then you can worship me. And little after that, I'm not sure how exactly was the story. I think again the king had another dream, but he understood that 3 huge pieces of wood are coming to the shore from the ocean, and he has to go and get them and make deities from these 3 pieces of wood. So they went there, and sure enough, the 3 huge wooden pieces came to the shore, and then they tried to take them out, and it was so difficult. They were so heavy, like even with elephants it was difficult to take them out. But at the end, Lord Jagannatha, Baladev and Subhadra, they agreed to come out. They brought them to the temple, to the castle of the king, and then the king asked for the different they're known as stapatis. Someone who is making deities is known as stapati. So the different stapatis, they came and they tried to do something, try to start making deity from this wood, but it was impossible. Like this wood was, like their instruments couldn't enter inside, or they were breaking, or like they couldn't do anything. So the king was already wondering what's going on here. And then one stapati came at the end and he said, my dear king, I can make deities from this wood, but I have condition. You close me in one big hole, and you will not disturb me. Whenever I decide to come out, I will come out. Whatever happens, you should not enter inside. If you enter, our agreement it's over. So then the king said, yes, please go. and he was inside, and after some time the king started hearing the noise from work, so he was very happy that something is going on. But after some days, like 20-30 days, suddenly all the noise stopped and you could not hear anything from inside. And this went for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and the king was already getting really disturbed, and he couldn't like stand anymore, and he just said, okay, I have to see what's going on. He opened the door and the Stapati was not there, and he looked at the forms made from wood, and they were looking something like that. And then the king said, oh no, my God, they're not ready. And I stopped the work of the Stapati, and now what I'm going to do? It was so foolish, I shouldn't do it. But then the Lord spoke to him and said, don't worry, actually these are the deities that you have to worship. This is my desire. I want to be worshipped in this form, says Jagannath, the master of the universe, the Lord of the universe. And then the king was so happy that, okay, at the end there will be installation. He he built a nice temple, and he wanted to find the most qualified Brahmana to install the deities. And he was thinking, okay, who is the most like glorious and qualified Brahmana in the whole universe? Should be Lord Brahma. He's the first Brahmana, so okay, let's go to ask him to come and make the yagya, installation ceremony. So he managed with his power to go all the way to Brahmaloka. And when he went there, the guards of Lord Brahma said, you just wait 5 minutes, he is busy now doing his worship, and then you can speak with him. And then he just waited for 5 minutes, and then Lord Brahma came. He offered his prayers, dandavats, and then he said, so I have this request. The Lord appeared in my kingdom, and I want to install the deities. Please, you as most qualified Brahmana in the universe, come and do the ceremony. And then Lord Brahma smiled and said, but okay, I can come, but we have a problem actually. And he said, what is the problem? He said, well, long ago you are not king anymore, because you stayed for 5 minutes here, but these 5 minutes on earth, they are like such a long time. And many generations of your dynasty passed already. So you are, long ago you are not the king, so you don't have the privilege anymore to do this whole thing. And then he was again a little bit upset. Then he went back down to the earth, and actually he started just living there in the area of Jagannath Puri. Nobody knew that actually he is the great king Indradyumna. He was just living there like a sadhu, like a ordinary beggar. But all the time he was feeling such a actually, by the way, if I remember correctly, if someone else knows can correct me, but if I remember correctly, during that time actually Lord Jagannath was installed already, and he was worshipped there in this temple that is now in Jagannath Puri. But then the king, he was like experiencing very strong emotions, and I'm losing little bit details from the story at that point, but somehow Lord Jagannath starts reciprocating with him. He was appearing in front of him, and so on and so on. And then Lord Jagannath, at some point they understood that actually this is the king.
There was the point that when he got back, because so much time passed, the temple was covered totally with the sand. Yeah, it was not visible. They couldn't, and because it was like centuries before. And then they found it, and then there was again not the fight, but the quarrel with another person who said, "Yeah, this is my temple. I built it." and they were like quarreling, and they had to prove, so this is really your temple or it's your temple, and they were looking for someone who can justify, and that was one, the turtle, the old turtle. Yeah,
turtle. You understand? Turtles.
And you know the animal, yeah? That she reside in this kunda, which is behind. There was this old kunda, and she was so old that she said, yes, I remember Indradyumna king, it's him. He's the guy who built it, because the other one, he found this temple, and he said, oh,
it's mine.
Yeah, it's mine. So nobody see it, nobody knows, and he excavated the...
And then he asked for 3 blessings from Lord Jagannatha. Well, I mean, they installed Lord Jagannatha.
Yeah.
Then he asked for 3 blessings. You remember which 3 blessings? I remember them, but I'm not 100% sure.
There was something about distributing the mercy for everyone without...
Yes. One blessing was...
And with the prasadam.
I want you to eat constantly.
Yeah.
I don't want you to stop eating. So Lord Jagannath said, okay, tatastu, let it be so. And that's why in Jagannath Puri you have offerings of prasadam, like basically going non-stop, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. So the other blessing was, I don't want you to sleep. I want you to give us the opportunity to worship you 24 hours. And Lord Jagannath said, okay, tatastu, let it be so. So in Jagannath Puri you have different ceremonies, rituals going from early morning, I think from 3 o'clock till 12 o'clock in the night. And just I think for 2-3 hours they close the doors, and it is known that at that time Lord Jagannath is not resting, but just this is the time when the demigods come to worship him. So that's why they close the doors, so that they have their darshan and worship of Lord Jagannatha. And then the 3rd blessing was just because of this thing, what you said, he said, I don't want to have sons.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody was very shocked, like, how, you are a king? What do you mean? Like, you have to have a son. How king without a son who is going to continue the dynasty? He said, no, I don't want to have a son because I don't want anybody else to try in the same way to say that actually this is his temple.
And the deity.
Yes.
This is my deity, so it's not belongs to anybody.
Yes.
It belongs to, this is the Lord of the universe.
Yes.
It should be for everybody.
Yes. So he asked for these 3 blessings. And there are so many interesting stories with Lord Jagannath. In Jagannath Puri and also in Mayapur. In Mayapur we have our Jagannath in Rajpur, which is said it's more than 500 years old, and it is said in Shastra it's not different. Actually the Pandavas in Jagannath Puri are saying that we have in our Shastra is written this Jagannath Puri in Mayapur is not different from this Jagannath in Jagannath Puri. So, like, there's an interesting story. There was an old lady. She had a connection with Jagannath as her son. So, because Jagannath is eating so much every day, and he was feeling pity to Jagannath, like, his digestion is going to become bad. He will become sick. I have to do something about it. So she started making a special paste from neem leaves, and every day bringing it to the temple and giving it to Pujari to offer to Lord Jagannath to have a good digestion. So one time she was going there, Hare Krishna. One time she was going there, and security said, "Where are you going?" And she said, "Oh, I'm going to my son." And security said, "Who is your son?" And the old lady said, "Jagannath." And security became angry. He said, "Ah, you stupid old woman. How you can call Jagannath your son? He is the Lord of the universe. Just get out of here." And he just throw the lady out. And then that day, because in Jagannath Puri they have special, like rule, a way to understand if the Lord Jagannath accepts the food. When Pujari offers the food, the preparations, he says the mantras, everything, and then he puts from the Achaman cup, like this small cup, he puts water here in his palm, and he should be able to see in the reflection of Jagannath in the water. If he sees it, that means he is satisfied and he accepts the food. If he cannot see it, that means Lord Jagannath, for some reason, he doesn't want to eat this food. So they just throw out everything. They don't consider it prasadam, and next offering is coming. This is thrown out. So for some reason, Lord Jagannath does not want to eat. One meal, second meal, third meal, the whole day, second day. So everybody becomes very disturbed. Like the head priest of the temple, and they said to the king, everybody's disturbed. Lord Jagannath does not want to eat for some reason. So then Lord Jagannath appeared in the dream, I'm not sure of the head pujari or in the dream of the king, and told them, you are offering me all this heavy food with so much ghee. I cannot digest it. I need some medicine to digest it. And there was this old lady, she was bringing me every day this nice medicine so that I can digest, and you told her not to bring it until she starts bringing this pest again. I will not eat anymore. And everybody was like shocked. Immediately the king said, find this lady, immediately she would come here. So they were searching through the whole city. At the end they found her. They brought her to Lord Jagannath, like, okay, sorry. And then they make a rule. Since that day, this is a tradition. Every day they make this paste for Lord Jagannath as a tradition from this lady. There is another similar story. There was another old lady. She was also thinking Jagannath is her child, and because the mother is always disturbed that the child will be starving, will be hungry. So she wakes up early in the morning, like 3-4 o'clock, and immediately she's thinking, Lord Jagannath, he is hungry, so I have to do something for him. So immediately, without bathing, without cleaning the kitchen, without anything, just goes in the kitchen and make a khichdi and offer to Lord Jagannath, and then she is happy that, okay, Jagannath, he is not hungry. So one sadhu came there, if I remember correctly, he was from Madhva Sampradaya, one sannyasi, and he needed a place to stay, so he asked this old lady, and she said, yeah, you can stay here, there is a space in the house. So in the morning, he saw the lady, she just got up and start cooking without like taking shower, without cleaning the kitchen, without anything. And then she starts offering the khichdi to Lord Jagannath. And then, because he's a sannyasis, they are considered like the teachers of the whole society, all varnas and all ashramas. So he said, for the sake of this lady, I have to chastise her. I have to teach her the proper standards, how you have to serve the Lord. And then he said, what you're doing is not proper. It is good that you want to offer something, but first you have to take shower, then you have to clean the kitchen, then you have to have a proper standard of cleanliness while you are cooking to the Lord. You cannot just wake up, you are contaminated, your body, your clothes, everything, and you just go to cook for the Lord. You cannot do that. And then the old simple lady, she said, oh, sorry, forgive me, Sadhuji, I don't know, Swamiji, I'm not sure how to do it, so okay, now I'll do it whatever you say. And then next morning,
he said, Jagannath is not accepting.
Jagannath is not accepting.
He is not eating what you're offering.
And then next morning, she got up and she started taking shower, and then Lord Jagannath came for his khichdi and nothing's going on. And then after like 1 hour he came again, she's cleaning the kitchen, nothing. Then after another hour he came again, she's just cooking now. And he was thinking, what's going on? And it's like getting time for darshanarati. The altar will open, people to take darshan, to see the Lord. So he became little afraid. I'm hungry and there is no time, what to do? And then the last moment she offered, And then Lord Jagannatha was trying to eat, but it's very hot, so he's like, the khichdi is going all over his face. And then at that time it just came the time for the doors of the altar to be open, and pujaris opened the doors, and they saw the whole face of Lord Jagannath with khichdi. And of course this story, immediately everybody understood about this, and this sannyasi also understood, and he managed immediately to understand his mistake. So he said to the old lady, you don't listen anything that I told you. You just do the things in the way how you're doing them. It's perfectly fine. Everything is okay. Don't worry. And there is another famous story with one saint who was living like 40 kilometers from Jagannath Puri. He was very, very poor, but he was extremely dedicated to Lord Jagannath. So one time a friend of his was going to Jagannath Puri, and he wanted to send something for Jagannath. So he managed to buy these coconuts. I don't know, or they were mangoes, I think. And the man asked him, so because they were from a lower caste, so the man was thinking, they will not allow me to enter the temple. How I'm going to offer these things from your name to Lord Jagannath? And this sadhu, he said, you just don't worry, just stay in front of the temple where is the Garuda Stamba, the pillar with Garuda, and you just take the mangoes in your hand, and you just say to Lord Jagannath, please accept these mangoes from the name of this and this person, and Lord Jagannath will accept them, don't worry. And he said, okay. He took the bag with the mangoes, he went there, he tried to enter the temple, but security stopped him, asking like, you're from which is your gotra, your family? And he said, oh, from this and this. They said, no, you cannot enter the temple, just get out of here. He said, but I have these things for Lord Jagannath, please at least bring them to Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath will not accept food from such a low birth people like you, just get out from here. And he didn't have any choice, so he went in front of the temple and said, okay, I have to still offer them. So he took the mangoes and he said to Lord Jagannath, please accept the mangoes for the name of this and this devotee. And then after like 1 minute, he started hearing some kind of emotions from inside the temple. And the mangoes disappeared. And then he went to see what's going on, what is all this commotion. And then the pujaris, they start saying, oh, the whole face of Lord Jagannath is in mango, the whole face is in mango. So actually Lord Jagannath, he accepted the mango. And yeah, there are many stories with Lord Jagannatha. There is another nice stories, but maybe let's say 1-2 stories from our Jagannath in Mayapur. Rajpur Jagannath is also very, very famous. Many people are coming to him. Actually, it is said that this Rajpur Jagannath, he is fulfilling very easy even the material desires of the people. There are many stories. People were coming to him with different material desires, and Lord Jagannath fulfills them very easy. Even our temple president in Bulgaria, he asked Lord Jagannath for something, and he fulfilled it very easily. The deal was not equal actually, because we in Bulgaria, in Sofia, we have one house belongs to ISKCON, but actually there are 3 houses like next to each other. They are stuck. So the first house belongs to ISKCON, the third one belongs to devotees, but the middle one was not belonging to devotees, and we had always problems, like we cannot make kirtan, we cannot make mangalarati. So at some point these people, they start thinking that maybe they have to sell us the house and then leave. And then even the person came one day to our TP and said, okay, if you give me this amount of money, then I'm just getting out from here and you can have the house. And we were so happy, but a lot of money. Yes, maybe not so much for the West, but like for Bulgaria, quite some money. And we don't have anything, like the temple hardly has the money to pay his bills. And And then the TP was thinking, what we are going to do now? How we are going to get this money? So then at that time we were in Mayapur and he called us, and somehow something happened. We started speaking for some reason about Jagannath, and he said, I heard that this Jagannath actually is very merciful there, so please go from my name and ask him, please help us to buy this house, give us the money so that we can buy the house. And if you do that, we cannot offer much in return, but I promise you we will make 24-hour kirtan for your pleasure. So after 1 month we had the money for the house. Devotees, they gave something, but not much. Maybe devotees managed to get 20,000 euros, but the house was 150,000 euros, something like that. But then suddenly some people, they start coming and they were saying one old, we have one lady in our yatra. Where is our temple? On the next on the other side of the street there is a big company for parts for cars. And it happened that the people who are the owners of this company, actually they have some connection with this Mataji, some kind of relatives. So she was speaking with them, and she told them, yeah, we have this place here and we want to buy the second house. Actually, maybe I can live in the future here when I'm old, but we don't have the money and this and that. So they told her, so how much money you need? And she said, yeah, it's very expensive house, but this and that. And they told her, okay, here you go, 4,000 euros. And if you can in the future, you can give them back. But if not, don't worry, just relax. So almost 1/3 of the money, they came. And another devotees also, and another people. So Lord Jagannath, he is very merciful, extremely merciful. There is a story. One time the pujari, actually in the beginning there was no, the deities were there, but there was nothing. There was no temple there, nothing. Something like a very small altar. And some Muslims, they decided to steal the deities for some reason. I don't know for why, but and they just took the deities and start during the night running with them through the fields to bring them somewhere. And then suddenly all of them felt very strong urge of nature. They have to go to the toilet. And they just put the deities down on the ground and they went to the toilet and then came back, tried to leave the same deities, they couldn't leave them. These are the same deities, we were just carrying them for so long. Again, second time, third time, they cannot leave them from the ground. And they understood they did a very big offense actually, and they immediately run to ISKCON, to the temple. Jayapataka Maharaj was there, another devotee, and they told, we did a big offense, please forgive us, please, your deities are in the field, come to take them. And then just 3 devotees went there, Jayapataka Maharaj and few other devotees, I think Bhakti Bringu Govinda Maharaj, someone else. At that time they were very skinny, Jayapataka Maharaj, he was very skinny at that time. They just went, took the deities, brought them back to the temple. Lord Jagannath Ki Jai. And later when there was already devotees there start going, still there was no pujaris in that place, but every day a pujari was going from ISKCON with a bike, with a tiffin with boga, and making an offering for the deity. So one time he brought the boga, he already prepared the plate, everything, but then he forgot that he saw that he forgot to get the tulasi leaves. So he was thinking, oh, how I'm going now to offer this without tulasi leaves? And there are many tulas around, but you have to go maybe at least 50-100 meters to go to find a tulasi to get it. So he was thinking, if I go, some animal may come at that time and eat the boga, and then I cannot offer it. So it's very delicate situation, so what to do, and then at the end he decided, okay, anyway, I'll just offer the boga and ask Lord Jagannath to accept it. I'll offer Tulasi in my mind. So he closed the curtain, offered the boga, chanted Gayatri, and when he opened the altar, from the pile of rice there was a huge Tulasi like that, like a branch of Tulasi in the middle of the rice.
No.
And another time they started worshipping their one Govardhan Shila also, and making offering every day. So one time Lord Jagannath appeared in the dream of the Pujari and said, we cannot stand anymore this Govardhan Shila. Since you brought it here, it wants to eat so much that already when you put the boga in front, the Pujari still not said the mantras, and he's already going for the prasam, and not for the salty. First he is the sweets, so we can never get the sweets. You have to do something about it. And then they said this dream to Jayapataka Maharaj. Jayapataka Maharaj said, okay, make a separate plate for Govardhan, a separate plate for everybody else. And then situation was calm. Another time, because just behind the Jagannath temple there is a big forest with mango trees. So at that time there was already a security in the area, because we have Viscount has quite some land there. It's not just the temple, but we have quite some land behind. So there was security, and the security saw two small boys stealing mangoes from the trees, and immediately, like Chokidar security in India, they always have this stick with them. So he started running behind them with the stick, and the two boys started running very fast, and they went to the wall of the temple, and then just jump over the wall and enter into the temple. But because in India very often, maybe you saw on the top of the wall they put broken glass, or even sometimes they put nails like that, so that thieves cannot jump over. So when one of the boys were jumping, part of his cloth actually hang for one of the glasses and just rip off, and a small cloth stay there. And then the Chokidar said, aha, okay, now I'll catch you very easily. He took the cloth and he said, now I'll find you inside in the temple and you see. And he went inside the temple. He was looking for these boys, but there is nobody there. He said to the Pujari that I was just running after these two boys. They were stealing the mangoes and they entered in the temple. I saw them through the wall, and even I have the proof. Here it is. I have part of the cloth of one of the boys. And then when the Pujari saw the cloth, he said, oh. He went, he opened the curtain of the altar, and he said, but these are actually the clothes of the deities. And he went around and he saw part of the cloth of Lord Jagannath was missing. Jagannath Swami Ki? There is another interesting story. A small boy, that was still in the beginning when there was no security. Small boy, he liked very much the decoration of Subhadra Devi for her nose. So he wanted to take it actually. And he came closer to the deities, and he was just about to get it, and then slap! Lord Balaram just smashed him, and he just turned a few times, and he started crying and went to his parents. He said, Mommy, this one, he beat me. And then the mother said, but how he beat? Yeah, he beat me with his hand. He just slapped me like that. So Lord Balaram, he's always protecting Subhadra Devi. Don't try to do something to Subhadra Devi, otherwise you'll be in a big trouble. One time the Pujari of the temple, he decided to give prasadam to one Muslim guy who was a rickshaw driver. He was just in front of the temple, so he gave him some prasadam. But this Muslim, because he thinks that this is an idol, it's not the Lord, it's not Allah, it's an idol, so how I'm going to eat food offered to an idol? So he just threw the prasadam. And then during the night, Lord Balaram appeared in his dream, and he sits above him and start, how you say in English? Choking him, and he was hardly breathing, and then he was beating him. He was saying, "You rascal, you don't respect the Mahaprasadam from my brother. I will kill you now." And Subhadra Devi was staying from the side, and she was saying, "Yes, kill him. And Lord Jagannath was also there, and he was smiling. And suddenly this Muslim, he woke up, and he was so afraid. Immediately next day he went to the temple, and he asked Pujari for Mahaprashadam, and he immediately ate it respectfully. And then Pujari said, "But you're a Muslim, why you're coming to ask for prasadam from Lord Jagannath? Like, you think this is our Hindu god, why are you asking for prasadam?" He said, yeah, he showed me that he's Allah actually. I believe that he is Allah. And actually the whole area there is a Muslim area, but the people around, they know that actually this is Allah. They respect Lord Jagannath as Allah. They know this is Allah. There was another story one of the pujaris was telling. He was taking care for Lord Jagannath, but very often the small Jagannath, when he was taking it to put it to sleep, he was holding his head like that. He was taking the deity like that, and he was using these fingers, which are considered not pure, putting them here, touching the head of the Lord. And then Lord Jagannath appeared in his dream and told him, "These fingers are not pure, don't touch me with these fingers. When you take me, you are using these fingers, don't do it. Just find another way to do it, don't use these fingers." So he immediately changed his habit, but after some time he again forgot. And then just by habit again he started doing the same thing. And then one time Lord Jagannath just spoke to him. He said, "How many times I told you not to do that?" And he was just like so afraid. And he was saying this story to Janivas Prabhu, Banka Jangri or Janivas. And Janivas Prabhu told him about like how Lord Jagannath show you with which fingers not to touch him, because he doesn't have fingers. And then Pujari said, no, he does, he has the fingers. Lord Jagannatha ki, Jai. Lord Baladeva ki, Jai. Subhadra Devi ki, Jai. Yeah, there are many other stories, but our time is over, so maybe another time we can continue. Someone wants to say something? Do you have some questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay. Shri Prabhupada ki, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaura Premananda.